Hey everybody, so what's up? So in this video, it's going to mark our first time where we're addressing the Overdress format, or the D format of Vanguard. Really excited about how this new format is shaping up. I really like it. I've really grown to like the anime. We will be talking about the anime as a whole in another video in the future. But as for now, I have 4 different Overdress format decks to show you. And for the first one, we are going to be covering Dragon Empire. I know, you're really surprised. I am showing off a Dragon Empire deck. Shocking. So anyway, guys, let's jump straight into this because there's lots to talk about. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change my mat. So, the way we're going to do this is I'm going to show you the ride deck first, and I'm going to leave the ride deck here, so if you want to reference it through any of the deck profile, it's there. So for the starter of the deck, I'm playing Trickstar. Trickstar is, he doesn't slide out when you ride him, but the point of having him there is so you can Soul Blast him out and later call him with Nirvana. Obviously, Trickstar, when he's on the rear guard, your opponent can't target him with effects, so they can't pop him with a retire effect, they can't put him in the prison, they can't bounce him, he's just there. So, we're playing one copy, we're playing Reno. Now, Reno is, she has, when she's rode upon by Ryu, or the grade 2, you get to search Trickstar and call it to the rear guard, and then during the battle that she attacks for 10. And then for the grade 2, obviously we play Ryu, so when we ride Ryu on top of Reno, we're going to search out our Trickstar, and then whenever she attacks, she also swings for +2, so she swings for 12. And then for the final grade 3, obviously we're playing Chakrabarthi, Divine Dragon Nirvana. So when we ride this on top of Reno, we'll be able to search out our Varina from our deck and add it to our hand. So our grade 2, so one of our grade 2 Overdress units that we'll cover here in a second. And then so Chakrabarthi, whenever he's on the Vanguard Circle, once per turn, you can discard a card to call a Trickstar from your grave. Wow. And then also during your turn, whenever he swings, you may pay a counterblast of 1, and any unit with the Overdress ability gets plus 10,000 power plus himself. So he's really, really good. He kind of acts like a front trigger in a way. In fact, that's exactly what he does. And as for the ride chain, the only card here that I do not play, I do not play any extra copies of the 1 or the 2. So just get that out of the way. First, obviously, we're going to talk about grade 0s. So obviously, we're playing 3 other copies of Trickstar in the deck. You want to max out on this. It's essential for the deck. So that's a pretty easy deduction. And then we're going to play 1 copy of Dragon Deity, King of Resurgence, Dragvita, our Overtrigger. So when this is revealed, you get to draw a card, heal a damage, and give plus 100 million power to a unit of your choice. And the additional effect that you get if you drive check this is you get to stand your Vanguard. So you can use this really well with your Overdress units, especially Variana Valiente, to make him really, really big, so then he can restand. So then for the rest of the triggers, we're playing 4 8 crits, playing 3 draws, and 4 heal trigger. So I don't think front triggers are necessary for this deck, since Chakrabarthi because I've seen some people that play the fronts over the draws. I want to be able to dig into the deck more and more and more and continually refilling my field, especially with Brantgate and the Battle Princesses. I want to be able to just refuel my hand and refuel my field as quickly as I can. So that's why I'm playing the draw triggers. And like I said, I don't see the point of playing front triggers when you're grade 3. That's going to be pretty much on the Vanguard circle the entire game. When he acts like a front trigger himself. When he acts like a front trigger himself. So 8 crit, 1 over trigger, 3 draws, and 4 heals. These are our trigger lineup. Next, we're going to do our grade 1s. We play 4 copies of Twin Buckler Dragon. Twin Buckler Dragon is just our perfect guard. It's the different one from the trial deck. Whenever you use this to guard against one of your to guard against an attack your opponent makes on one of your units. If you have less than 2 cards in your hand, you don't have to discard a card from your hand. So if you have more than 2, you got to discard. But if you don't, then you just don't have to discard anymore. So that's the advantage to running this perfect guard. We play 3 copies of Extremist Dragon Velo Kizard. This is pretty simple. He just boosts for 10. So he's going to boost your Overdress columns and your Vanguard by 10. To me, he's just a no-brainer. That's why he's in here until we get a better option. He's just a spot filler for now, so he's probably not going to be in here for long, especially with set 2 coming out in July. And then we play 2 copies of Stealth Dragon Tensia Steed. There are some people that play 4 of this, and I just don't understand it. I mean, he is a good card. When he boosts a successful attack, you can counterblast 1 and put him into your soul, I believe. You counterblast 1 and you retire him, and then you get to search out a copy of the card that is on your Vanguard circle at the time. So the idea is you use it to search out your other copies of Chakrabarthi so you can continue to Persona Ride. And that's why he is still in here. I'd put 1 copy right behind Chakrabarthi and swing for 21. And if he does hit, you can search out a Chakrabarthi and Persona Ride the next turn. Maybe he'll add a little additional pressure to your opponent, so he'll try and figure out, do I want him to have that plus 10k to his front row on his next turn, and might cause him to guard more an attack or not. So I do not see the point of maxing out on it, so that's why I play other options. I could see 3 if you want to switch the 10k booster and Steed around and play 3 of Steed and 2 10k boosters, but that is just my choice. So for the grade 2s, we got our 4 copies of the trial deck Variana. So Variana, he just a grade 2, has the Overdress skill. You may place it on top of the specified unit instead of calling it to the normal rearguard circle, so you'd stack it on top of Trickstar. When this unit is in the Overdress state and it attacks a Vanguard, it gets plus 10,000 power until end of turn, and you can Soul Blast 2 to retire one of your opponent's rearguards. So he swings for 20. Pretty good. 30 under a Persona Ride, 40 under a Persona Ride with Chakrabarthi's skill. And then we play 4 copies of the new grade 2 that we got out of set 1, which is Verena Arcs. Verena Arcs is it's basically a pot of greed on legs. He, for those of you who play Yu-Gi-Oh! So he overdresses obviously on top of Trickstar, but when this unit is placed on rearguard, if it is in the overdress state, counterblast 1 to draw 2 cards, and then this unit gets plus 5k until end of turn. So you really want this turn 2, so you can just immediately go straight into it and draw more cards. So hopefully you do see it. And then I actually play 3 copies of the Blitz Order Burn Bright Pure Prayers. The one thing that this deck can run into is if your opponent starts taking out too many of your overdress units by battle, and your hand just gets clogged with cards you don't want to discard for perfect guards or guard with, such as your overdress units and stuff like that, you do need ways to protect your Vanguard. So this card, you can activate it during your opponent's during the guard step. Basically, if you have 3 or more cards in your damage zone, one of your units gets plus 15k until the end of battle. So, and it doesn't cost you a counterblast or a soul blast. So you can use this just to increase the power of one of your overdress units, your Vanguard, and it'll just help protect them and deflect attacks. So. And then grade 3s, obviously we have 3 copies of Chakrabarthi, but we've already talked about him. These are ugly, ugly commons. I do have 3 extra foils on the way right now, so we'll be having those eventually. And then we play our 4 copies of Varina Valiente. So Varina Valiente, he can overdress on top of Trickstar, or a grade 3 or less unit in the overdress state. So he can even overdress on top of a Valiente that's already in overdress, or a Varina Arcs. So, you know, he's the most versatile of the three. His abilities are continuous on the rearguard circle. This unit gets plus 5,000 for each unit for each of this unit's original dress. So if, say you have Trickstar, and then you have Varina, and then you have this, he gains an additional plus 10,000 power at all times. So that means on your opponent's turn, he's a 23k rearguard, so it'll be a little bit harder for them to deal with. They might have to commit their Vanguard attack to it. They might have to commit a huge rearguard attack to it. So he does become harder and harder to kill the more that you stack his overdresses. Just be careful, you know, do not overcommit, especially early, because then he just becomes a liability if you lose him, and then you're out of a lot of cards. And then his other skill is when the attack of this unit hits and it's in the overdress state, you can counterblast 1, discard 1 from your hand, and restand him. So he has the ability to restand and attack again. Be wary when you do activate that skill. They might let it go in the early game. If you can push them and it will hinder them, and you know you don't think they'll be able to push you back, you know, to the point where it's going to put you in danger because you have to discard a card and obviously lose a little bit of hand advantage to do it, then don't do it. So just be smart when you're activating the skill to restand, and just be aware of how many cards you're committing to when you're creating your overdress stack. Other than that, that's pretty much, you know, all there is to it. So anyway, guys, that is my Dragon Empire overdress deck. It's a lot of fun to play. I don't want to sit here and say that it's complicated or anything. It's pretty basic right now since we only have 1 set. I'm really looking forward to set 2, Brush with Legends, because my baby's coming back. I'm really excited that Dragonic Overlord is returning, and so is Phantom Blaster Dragon for Cater Sanctuary, because Phantom Blaster Dragon has always been one of my favorite units as well. So really looking forward to those 2 units coming back into the fold. Can't wait to see what their effects are and what they do. So anyway, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this deck profile. If you have any suggestions for what you would do with it, or if you have questions or anything like that, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I do make a habit of replying to every comment that is left. Love to hear from you guys. Please remember, we do have a Telegram group called Shinaki's Friends, if you want to join that, where we talk cards, we talk about the new cards as they're revealed, and we just sometimes just chat for fun. You're welcome to join us. Still would love to do a giveaway there once we get up to 50 people, but that's gonna be on you, whether we can get more people in the group or not. So anyway, guys, hope you very much enjoyed this deck profile as much as I did bringing it to you guys. Hope you're all doing great and safe, and make sure you leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you already haven't, and I will see you in the next one.